Hello, beautiful friends, and welcome to Voice After 50. I'm your host, Beverley. I'd love to begin by wishing you all a very happy new year. The start of a new year can mean so many different things to each of us for all sorts of reasons, but I'm always encouraged by the idea that it gives us a chance to reset and reflect. You may notice that my voice sounds a little rough today. That's because I'm just coming out the other side of a bout of flu that hit me right as 2026 arrived. But it certainly wasn't going to stop me from recording today's episode. Episode 9, the penultimate episode of Season 2. As I was reflecting on my podcast journey so far and looking ahead to 2026, it struck me that many of the episodes I've shared so far have carried a somewhat precautionary note. Things like, you don't have to tell everyone your business, or toxic friends, or guarding your peace. It almost feels like we've been constantly navigating battles or challenges. But recently, as I was scrolling through my phone and looking at all the photos I had stored there, it occurred to me, so many of us are carrying around an encyclopedia of memories, pictures and random digital clutter that really needs some attention. And that's when I thought, why not explore this from a Voice After 50 perspective? How can we approach the idea of organising our photos, messages and digital memories, not as a chore, but as an empowering way to reflect, preserve and shape our legacy? Our own form of archiving. So today, that's exactly what we're diving into. The power of curating your digital legacy. Well, when we were younger, memories lived in photo albums, scrapbooks and handwritten letters tucked away in drawers. Now they live in clouds and apps and old devices we swear we'll get to someday. A digital legacy is simply the collection of memories, stories, images and conversations that exist in a digital form and continue long after we're gone. But here's the important part. We get to shape that story. Curating your digital legacy isn't morbid, it's empowering, it's intentional. And it says, these things in my life mattered. These relationships mattered. These moments mattered. And I think after 50, we begin to feel the weight and the beauty of that truth even more strongly. Why does this matter more than ever? Well, let me ask you a question. If someone were to scroll through your photos today, what story would they see? Would they see joy, adventures, love? Or would they just see screenshots of recipes, parking garage numbers, a blurry photo of the floor? I think for many of us, it's a mixture. So organising our digital memories helps preserve what matters, reduce digital overwhelm, give peace of mind, and create something meaningful for others like children, grandchildren, friends, or simply for ourselves. And here's something powerful. We've spent decades building lives. Now we get to shape how these lives are remembered. That's not vanity, that's legacy. How do we start? Let's begin with the biggest category for most of us, photos. If the idea of organising your photos makes you want to lie down, I really get it, honestly. So having looked into this and listening to other podcasters on the matter, I'll be talking about some of them in a bit. Here's the key. Start small, 5 or 10 minutes at a time. One album, one trip, 1 year. Here are a few ideas. Create meaningful albums. Instead of thousands of random photos, create albums like Family Through the Years, or Friendships That Made Me, or Becoming Me After 50, Holidays and Traditions, Places That Changed Me. Suddenly these albums sound like a chapter in a book, and now your memories tell a story. Let go of the noise. Get rid of and delete duplicates. Delete blurry ones. Delete screenshots you don't need anymore. You're not erasing anything significant in your life. You're getting rid of clutter and uncovering what is important. If you've ever watched the program Hoarders, it's a bit like that. When the rooms are cleared of clutter and the things that serve no purpose are removed, they reveal a room that can be used and enjoyed. Highlight your favourites. Most photos have a favourites heart, so why not use it? Imagine grandchildren scrolling through and seeing the highlights of your heart. Messages and voice notes can be hidden treasures, and this is something that many people overlook. Sometimes the most meaningful words we ever receive live in a text bubble. A birthday message from a child, or a note from a friend saying, "I'm proud of you," a conversation from a time when life felt fragile. You can screenshot special messages, save them in an album called Words That Held Me, or write them into a journal or digital document. And if you ever receive a voice note, that's gold. There is something sacred about hearing someone's voice, the laugh, the breath, the warmth, the personality. Tell the stories behind the photos. A photo without context is just an image, but a photo with a story, that's history, family history, personal history. You can add a caption, record short audio reflections, or create a digital scrapbook. For example, instead of just a photo of you on a beach, you might write, "This was the first trip I took alone after turning 52. I was nervous, but I felt free for the first time in years." Those stories matter, and you are the only one who can tell them. I mentioned earlier some podcasters and resources that I looked into prior to putting together this episode. So if you want inspiration and practical advice for curating your digital legacy, here are some podcasts I recommend, both international and UK based. Caregiver Relief Podcast, episode 111, Organising and Preserving Your Family Memories. Angela Andrews shares tips for tackling years of photos and digital clutter. There's Maximised Minimalist Podcast, episode 293, Preserving Your Family Legacy Through Photo Books, Turning Digital Chaos into Meaningful Keepsakes. There's Organise with Grace, episode 85, Tame Your Photo Chaos, a 7-step solution, step-by-step strategies for curating albums you'll treasure. Photographs in a Shoebox podcast, Sue Kennedy reflects on why everyday photos matter and how to preserve them. The Art of Memorializing podcast, creative and practical ways to preserve memories digitally and emotionally. Here's some practical tips that I have gleaned from some of these podcasts to make it easier for you to go through this process. Choose one platform or folder structure, maybe Google Photos or Apple Photos or Dropbox, whichever works for you. Block small time slots, so even 10 minutes a day can help. Create 5 to 10 core albums. Think big themes: family, travel, friendships, celebrations. Back everything up. Cloud plus external drive equals peace of mind. Name things clearly. Christmas 2022. Family at home. This beats IMG_48392. And do it with a cup of tea or while you're relaxing, so it can be gentle and joyful. Sorting through these digital memories can stir emotions. You may smile, you may cry, miss someone, feel grateful, or realise how strong you've been. If tears come, that's not weakness. That's life speaking back to you. Give yourself permission to feel it, and maybe even to celebrate it. You've lived a full, layered, imperfect, beautiful life, and that deserves reverence. You are still creating your legacy. Your legacy is not finished. You are still writing it, still becoming, still learning, still laughing, still experiencing, still loving. As you organise your past, don't forget to cherish your present. Take selfies with the people you adore. Capture the ordinary moments. Record laughter. Tell stories. Life after 50 is not an ending. It's a chapter rich with wisdom and depth. If someone you love were to look back through the digital trail of your life, what do you hope they would feel? Loved? Inspired? Connected? Curating your digital legacy allows you to speak to the future in your voice, with your truth and your heart. And that is a gift. I plan to put into practice these tips and pointers as well as to enjoy the journey I will be going on, reflecting on my digital legacy. It's also a great opportunity to declutter my digital hoard and free up some space. Thank you for spending this time with me today on Voice After 50. I've included links to the recommended podcast in the show notes so you can explore and get inspired. Please share your experiences of decluttering and curating your digital legacy, and feel free to also share any tips and pointers you may have. Until next time, take good care of your memories, and even better, take good care of yourself. Talk soon.